Word.
There we go.
Perfect. We're just all professionals here doing this now. Quite a difference from a couple of weeks ago. Where it's like, where's
I have
that
no idea
button?
what
How
you're
do we
talking
get
about.
there?
Yeah, that
So
was
good
fun.
morning, everybody. It is Dr. Dave and Brenda back here talking about what if, the positive possibilities that you can have for your life. And welcome, Dr. Dave.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
So happy to be here. Thank you.
I'm happy you're here as well. We always have fun when we're hanging out together. So
Always.
let's get started. So this was my old book. Now I've just sent in for my new author copy because I had to make some changes, but this is the new book and I'm so excited about it. So we're going to start using the new book. So what we're going to do is just take a nice deep breath in, breathe in that nice spring fresh air whenever it gets here, and out, and ask what our message is for today. What if today I chose to be consistent in my routines? I know that I could use some help in that area.
Wow.
So let's dive into this one. Do you have habits that you do each day? Are you implementing new habits and changes in order to manifest new and exciting goals in your life? Are you finding that it's getting too overwhelming and your day is done before it has even begun due to all the things you are trying to implement? It can definitely be overwhelming to add more things to do in an already busy schedule. Dean Graziosi suggested this, and I have used it in my life with wonderful results. Consider this for a moment. Instead of adding to your schedule, why not replace one habit for another? Did I not just say that? Did I not
Word for
just
word.
say that in Nature's
Word
Divas?
for word.
Word for word. That way, instead of piling more things on, you are replacing them. Guaranteed there are habits that no longer serve who you are becoming. Take those out and insert what the new habits are. For instance, if you want to move your body each day, did I not just say that?
Wow.
Oh, that's too funny.
This is awesome.
Instead of getting on Facebook or checking your email as soon as you get up, take that habit out and replace it with moving your body in some way. Thank you, Brenda. I think I will take my own suggestions. Yeah.
That's great.
Sometimes it's easier to tell other people what to do than to do it yourself. However, yes, that is something that I'm working on. Being consistent each day with your time will create a new habit. Do this with all the new habits you are looking to implement. First, take a look at habits that no longer serve. Then choose one of the improved habits and insert. Doing one at a time helps as you don't get overwhelmed trying to think of all the new things that you have to do. Implementing one habit for at least a couple of weeks allows time for it to be ingrained in your body. And once you feel comfortable with that habit, then move on and change another. Don't you just love how the universe works?
Yeah,
like just
so fun.
solidifying that information. Just there it is.
For sure.
Be consistent and watch your life change. Now, because I have reformatted my book, it went a little different, and I had some white space on some of the entries that took up 2 pages. So the additional entry on here is add a splash of color to your life. Eat it, wear it, and surround yourself with it. So just as I was saying about breathing in those colors, get those colors out. I'm even wearing a colorful shirt today, my blue
Hmm.
shirt, which is communication. So it's all good. Oh, nuts. Why did I close that? I guess we don't need to talk to about it anymore. All right.
Rock on.
Woohoo.
Fun.
So
How
it's
amazing.
interesting how all this, we were just on Nature's Divas, conversations with the divas, just speaking of these habits and changes, and here the universe is like, let's solidify this, implement it, let's get going. So
Yeah.
it's interesting to see how they follow week
Wow.
by week. It's pretty amazing.
It
What are
is.
your thoughts
It's
on today's
so
what if?
fun. Oh, it's awesome. And I, I, I don't know that I'm surprised anymore. Um, I almost expect it because it's I know that the universe is always going to help us with that validation. So if you have the like, that's great theory, but I don't know if that's for me. And then you just keep getting more and more validation, and I'm like, okay, I got it. And I most of the times, I will actually say that out loud, like, okay, stop, I got it, I'm doing it, to the universe, like, all right. Because the more that they keep coming in, I feel like they're yelling at me, like, dude, how many times we gotta tell you,
And they're up there going, oh, if you'd only
right?
listen.
It and it's one of those that I just keep recognizing, and it always makes me smile, or I'm smirking about it, like, yeah, I heard you. That's cute. That was fun. You know, good on you. Awesome. So it's the universe is always trying to help, and whether it's gentle depends on how much you
Persuasion.
want to listen. But it was you literally said almost exact all the same words because talking about the oils that we just went through and everything, like, wow, something that as you were describing and talking about what the what if portion of that excerpt, I was just thinking that for some folks, I had this feeling that some folks are thinking this is like a new way to approach being able to exchange an old behavior or one that's not in the greatest to highest good for something that's new. Um, and so it's just that switching in and out of things. For some reason, I just had that feeling and sense that people are like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to try that. You know what? Freaking enough already. You've been doing it your whole damn life, and that's how you got where you are, even all of the old behaviors, because eventually you stopped doing something that was positive or healthy, and then you switched it with something that was more negative, and then that overtook something else, and then things start slacking, and that's how we get into that mode. It's the exact same, it's just reverse. So it's not something new. We need to learn. It's just turn it around and change the channel, but apply exactly the same. So it's nothing new. It's simply, let's look at that we're making sure that we're adding the things that we want to have that are healthier, that are more in alignment with what it is that we're trying to achieve and working towards. So it's not a new concept that, like, oh, and now I got to figure out this new system. Shut up. You know it. You
Mm-hmm.
got it. You're a master at it because you just have it in reverse. So, like our fans. Oh, good example. So our ceiling fans, in the spring, we turn it back again because we have it going in the different directions to bring the heat down. Now we're changing it in the spring to, help circulate and move air. Oh, that's fun.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Yeah, huh?
I have to
Thanks.
use that one.
First time in. All right.
Very
That's all about
interesting.
spring cleaning. But you might want to do the spring cleaning with your fans first before you do that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you want to do that.
You got clouds.
I shudder to think what would be flying off there. Then I'd have to dust, and then that's just not a good thing, anyways. My daughter's
Right.
like, "Why don't you dust, Mom?" I'm like, "I don't like to." That's it. As long as nobody touches it, nobody can. It's a sheen of dust that you can't even see, anyways. There are no
Mhm.
fingerprints. I'm not moving anything.
Sure.
Works for me for so
Yeah.
long. Then my granddaughter
Until
comes over and I just love her fingerprints. So that's okay too, because then I can see her little fingerprints and everything. And that brings me a lot of joy. So it's all good. But yeah, it's just those routines in the wintertime we get stuck, and I do myself. It's my friend, when I lived in my house, I would go visit my friend who lived in an apartment, and she goes, when you live in an apartment, it's a different life because you get so used to staying in. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything. And I'm realizing that now that I'm in an apartment, it's like I haven't been out like a couple days. It's like, wow, it's interesting because I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to shovel the driveway. I don't have to, shovel the walk. I don't have to do anything
okay.
outside. So it's like, I really don't like what it's doing outside. So I'll stay in and do it another day. And it becomes this routine of I don't want to go outside. But as somebody who facilitates getting out in nature, it's really not a good idea. So I've been receiving quite a lot of messages from the universe going, hey, you're teaching this stuff. You need to be out doing it, which I have been. I have been getting outside more and went outside this morning and just enjoyed all the little snowflakes that were falling on me. But it's it's really important to change those routines. We have these seasons, and in the seasons we do different things. Our body responds to that season in a certain way. So it's really good for us to take actions in a specific way. So springing forward, we just moved our clocks ahead. So springing into spring, enjoying it, just jumping in with both feet and going, woohoo, spring's here. And breathing in those colors and the excitement and just eating lighter. Because in the wintertime, we eat those comfort foods, the root vegetables and, lots of heavy things to keep us warm and just, it's just something we've always done. But now it's that lighter food, and we want to shed all that excess energy that we don't need anymore and come out into the world and show up in a different light.
Mhm. I love perfectly said. If we were to do some sort of a mini inventory of our seasons, what are the patterns that we can recognize of ourselves, what we normally do for ourselves, or how we normally feel in the seasons. So, what in our lives have we been consistent? So, consistently, every spring, I usually kind of what are those things? Identify them just to take a look at them. Um, but the key there is, as the what if asked us, is consistently. So, what is that consistency that you are noticing, that pattern that you tend to have for yourself? And it's not a reprimand by any means, it's just an evaluation to find out, is that still in alignment? That I'm going to continue that consistency because it works well for me. Great, awesome. What are the ones that are like, each year still sucks. Let's not do that anymore. So we've identified one that we get to eliminate, and now we get to interject into or replace the new one trait or new habit that we want to bring into this new season and become consistent in making that work every single year until it doesn't again. And I think so that's a wonderful thing for us just to have that evaluation of what over the seasons that we've been experiencing has worked for us, what hasn't, because we're not the same people that we were last season. We're not the same
Hmm.
people last year at the same time of, springtime. So what did work? What do we want to reestablish that consistency of following through with and doing it again? And then what's not? So what are those things that we're like, yeah, nope, let's not upload that behavior for the spring, lineup here. So let's not check that box. And because that'll allow me more options to check some of the healthier ones, maybe more things that I want to do and experience coming into the next. Um, that to me would be a wonderful way to spring cleaning for our patterns, our behaviors that we're looking at doing. So not only just that getting out the clutter, but also looking at the patterning that we're able to identify for ourselves and what is serving us. And it may have served us last year, but not so much now. And or it's not the same alignment that we have with our goals and our trajectory that we want to create for the next coming year.
I think that is an amazing idea, and I think I'm going to do that myself because if we're not changing, we're not transforming, we're stagnant
Mhm.
and we're not living our full potential. So, in order to transform and do what our mission is here, that we came down here to do, it is imperative that we change. It is imperative that we keep moving forward, just as a baby. We learned to, hold our head up. Then it was to sit. Then it was to crawl. If we had like, I can hold my head up and, but other than that, I'm kind of done here. Where would you be right now? So it's that transforming. You just, as a child, you want to run. You don't want to stand still. You want to run. You want to climb. You want to do all these things. So get that childlike innocence and that joy back to go, I can do anything I set my mind to. So what do I want to do? What do I want to get excited about? What do I want to change in order to transform my life?
Mhm. Yes, you were saying that I can do anything, and a few songs are running through my head. And it's, I think for that part of it is what is the motivation that has consistently gotten me to the next level of where I want to go? What is that next thing that always like just hits that, jumping point for us? And it's really about for ourselves what that is, but then also, okay, so we're going to steer clear because once I start thinking about this, or I think that in this term, we know that we're going to tank. So great, we've identified them. Don't open the door to that stuff, So it's like we're not doing that. I've identified it. You do not get to have a voice, because this is the track that I'm choosing to listen to. It's going to be the part that is helping me get my wings, helping me be able to just bounce and be in that effervescent, bubbly new springtime, and enjoying those things about ourselves. So I I I'm I love the new energy, and so if there's new things that we can enter into that, and just not staying stagnant in what always works or has worked for us, those are fantastic. But how about adding something new? Just put into motion or setting out the intention for the universe to introduce you to something else, whether it might be a song or a quote that just like it ignites a fire for you every single time. Invite the universe to bring that in for you. You don't even have to search. You don't even have to do the work. Only thing you have to do is, can you send that to me? Awesome. It will show up always. So allowing ourselves to do that, it's fun. It can be. So I think that it's not only is it that we're evaluating the what works and doesn't work, but also what else is out there? What else can I add to this regimen of this changing time that's going to be even more than I can imagine because I don't even know what I don't know.
Exactly. And that's exciting. Each
Yay.
new day is a blank canvas. It's like, what do we get to do today? And he's like, this is so
Right.
exciting. And the miracles and possibilities are, they just, they're everywhere. But it's what we're bringing our awareness to. What are we aware of? What do we want for our life? Because if we don't know, then the universe doesn't know. And the universe will bring you more of whatever habits you have chosen to continue with and will continue to do so. So if you're like, oh, I don't like the way my life is, and whatever it is, well, if you're not ready to make those changes and do that inventory as Dr. Dave suggested and go, okay, well, this isn't working for me, so let's pull that out and put this in. So just like answering my emails in the morning, put in, before I look at my emails, put in, I'm gonna do some exercises. And I would like to challenge everybody. So what I am going to do, and I will let everybody know next week, so I better write this down so I don't forget to let everybody know, but I am going to commit to myself, because it's only yourself that you need to commit to, and you're letting yourself
Mhm.
down if you fall by the wayside. So it's all you. You're not letting anybody else down but yourself. So I'm committing to me to move my body every single morning, rather than starting my day off a lot sooner than I do. Like I do my meditations and hop right on the computer and start. But I'm going to take that time for my body and give it the movement so that I can stay flexible, so that I can continue to enjoy playing with my grandchildren, so I can pick them up, so I can keep up with them. And that's really
Mhm.
important for me. So I
Mhm.
challenge Dr. Dave, as well as everybody else that listens to this, please write down in the comments, please share with us what you're taking out and what you are going to, what awesome habit you are going to replace that with.
Love that. Oh, that's fantastic. Great. I'm doing the same. Because that is I do exactly the same. Usually I'm checking my phone as I'm walking down the hall to go to the bathroom and take the dogs out. I'm already scrolling through of what needs my attention when I'm ready, to be able to do that. Um, and so yeah, I know better. And your day starts out when you're in a more centered place and have that freshness. You're gonna show up to that other stuff, and we're not saying don't do it. You're, checking in and doing the messages and everything else. That's not anything what we're saying. It only is just how about putting in some extra time, and sliding that in the calendar a little bit further so that we're going to slide in movement, and centering, kind of thing first before we get into that. That wires your brain so different.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm as long as I've been in this field, in holistic field, whether it was showing up for clients sessions or whether it was teaching a workshop. Um, Usually those are, as I grew in that, they became much more calm and relaxed and not, fly out of bed, get the shower, and get to the workshop and set up. And, I don't do that anymore. I've always, for quite a while, I'm like, no, no. One, my day needs to have 2 hours prior to me having anything on the book because I want to ease
Mm,
on into my day. If I don't, it's not fun for me most times. So I just want to be able to ease into it and not be rushed because that entire day starts on that keel of, oh Lord, okay. And so you're just trying to keep up all day instead of like, okay, let's hit the start button.
yeah.
Uh, and that's kind of what that exercise does, is that allows us to ease into that part of it, as opposed to the full stress on for breakfast before you get on with your day. It's going to
Absolutely.
be um and it's not a high frequency day. That's just a chaotic
No.
day. So that is, do not make the mistake of confusing that with a high frequency day, which would be something that is where you're highly connected to source energy and centered, with the chaotic one. Just because that you're moving fast has zero to do with your connection or your effectiveness. This is busy. So don't kid yourself. That is not being productive. Just because you have so many things on your calendar does not mean you're showing up for any of them. You're
No.
halving it everywhere, or showing up a quarter. So what that does is allows us to just show up for the day much more present, so that we can be more effective. We can be staying in the moment and centered throughout the rest of it. And what a gift to everybody, because that creates a complete win-win. It's a win for you to be able to enjoy much more of your day. But then it also allows the universe to be able to enjoy you because you're showing up for more of it. From your coworkers to your family and friends, whoever you're going to be with, you're showing up much differently that way when we're calmer, we're centered, and sure, it can still be busy, but it's a very different frequency that we're showing up in. So that's a great invitation. Thank you for that, Miss
You're
Brenda. I
welcome.
love it.
Awesome. So please comment. We would love to hear what you're going to be, what awesome habits you're going to be putting in and taking out. And yeah, so we would love to hear from you. And thank you once again, Dr. Dave, for connecting here today and just sharing with me
Fun.
the love of possibilities and just what's possible. And it's just an amazing way to be when you can see all the possibilities that are possible. It just makes life so much better, and you get to do so much more. It becomes
Absolutely.
fun. Life is
Hmm.
fun because you get to do stuff and you
Hmm.
get to create your reality. So what a wonderful gift that is, that
Hmm.
we have to share with the world. So thank you so much. And thank you
Absolutely.
everybody who watches this. And we will see you again next Monday for Conversations with the Divas. And then right after, pretty much to solidify what we talked about in the Divas, will be what if. And the
And the plan.
universe always has a way of wrapping everything up into this
Hmm.
neat little package, and just giving us a different perspective and things to think about that we can change and transform our lives. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you for allowing me to be a part and joining in this wonderful space. So I am so grateful for you. Thank you. And all the gifts that you're bringing and sharing with everyone, because it's definitely a better place with you in it.
Oh, well, thank you. And you
Mm.
too. Well, everybody have a wonderful week, and we will see you next Monday.
Next week. Yay.
Bye.